Lakers Nuggets. Luka, his best performance as a Laker. He had a game-high 32. Lakers a huge win. First win over Denver in nearly 3 years. Let's go back to our buddy Stephen A. He was very impressed with what he's seen from L.A., especially from their coach, J.J. Redick.
And I'm going to say this right here, right now. J.J. Redick is a candidate for Coach of the Year. He is just doing a hell of a job. If that Los Angeles Lakers team shows up in the postseason, look the hell out.
So, Monica, let's talk about, we all know JJ obviously well from his time here. And look, I know him well enough to know what his life was before he decided to go back to this. I heard him say he did not sleep between their game Thursday night and their game Saturday night preparing for Denver. This is a guy who could have had the easiest life in the world, making a life. The guy's made $1 trillion playing basketball. He could have had this great life playing all the golf courses he's a member of and everything else. He decided to put himself back into this grinder, and I give him a lot of respect for doing it, and he is kicking behind doing it right now with the Lakers. They looked ridiculously good on Saturday night.
They looked fantastic. I was very, very impressed with what they were doing on both sides of the basketball. And when it comes to J.J. Redick, we know how much he loves the game of basketball, the analytics, the preparation. But even in all of that, I think his player experience resonates so much in terms of just playing hard. And he's got these guys playing very hard on the defensive end, particularly on defense when they were defending Jokic on Sunday or Saturday night. I thought they did a great job of staying connected. There was always a body bothering Jokic. They did a good job communicating in the cuts and brief switches, so to speak. I believe that's either Rui Hachimura or Jared Vanderbilt that's bodying him up there. But look, 3 bodies around Jokic. He's bothered the entire night. He doesn't get a clean look, and then you block out and you finish the possession with a defensive rebound. And so the attention and the energy, there's LeBron, right? We know what LeBron is capable of being as a defender. He's going to be the primary. But look, all these guys are coming to load up. Not only do they load up, but this is when we're used to seeing Jokic pass out of this. The secondary guy in terms of the pass was also available. More of the same here, right? Jumping out in front, using his quickness. I believe that was Dorian Finney-Smith that was able to do that. And then you get a run-out highlight play. Like, it's just beautiful.
So when they made this trade, all anybody told me was, well, the Lakers are going to be so bad defensively. It's unbelievable how bad the Lakers are going to be defensively. And here we are talking about how good they looked, at least on this night, against a legitimate contender and maybe the MVP of the league in Jokic. Stephen A. just said if that Laker team shows up in the playoffs, what could they do?
Yeah, listen, what you saw in that defensive assignment against Jokic and the way they committed to it, and it's a lot of things go into a defensive game plan. It's personnel, scheme, and effort. Basically, it's those 3 things that you have to combine on a given night. You saw all of those things come to fruition, and they're getting that out of guys like Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt and Dorian Finney-Smith. They have the physical frame to play certain lineups size-wise that enable them to get away with that. And that is what I think a lot of people didn't know when they made this trade. You knew Luka's going to be somebody you have to protect. And in those first couple games back, man, were they exposed trying to protect him. And that's when everybody's saying, going, I don't know if this is going to work, even if Luka is great offensively. What you're seeing now is they're maxing out these other pieces and how they attack things defensively. Listen, there's no question the Lakers are coming, and you better pay attention to what's about to happen for the next 25 games. Now, it's too early to answer it. Small sample size. Let's come back to this in a couple of weeks, but there's no doubt it's trending in that direction.
Alan, let's go to the other side of the floor, though, because in this game, it was about Luka playing with the ball, right? The other night, again, I've been on vacation, so I'm following the best I can. The other night, it was about LeBron playing with the ball. On this night, it was about Luka playing with the ball, and the offense looked a lot better that way.
I thought what LeBron said after the game really stood out, and that is that I'm a great wide receiver. He's a great quarterback. And I think that's what they're starting to learn is LeBron will run the routes, especially when they play faster. When you're small, you got to play faster. And so you let Luka get the ball. Look at this, just looking up the floor. And who's running? The 40-year-old, outrunning everybody else down the court. His vision, Luka doesn't get a lot of credit for his passing ability, his vision. He loves playing with bouncy bigs. Well, all we know about him is his scoring, right? But he is a great playmaker. Okay, well, not just you, Monica, everybody else. The point is that LeBron is recognizing the skill set that he has with him and how to play with it. And you could argue that Luka might be the better fit with LeBron than anybody he's ever played with, including Dwayne Wade. Wade didn't have the perimeter game that Luka has. They were both clutch. They both certainly knew in the big moment. But the passing ability that Luka brings could unlock a little more of LeBron even at this age.
The Wade analogy is an interesting one because we all remember that when LeBron went to D-Wade's team, it took Dwayne Wade saying to him, look, man, you got to be the guy. I'll figure out how to play around you, but you're the guy. Mm-hmm. Now here's Luka coming to LeBron's team. And I know the age disparity wasn't that.
Part,
But still, if it takes LeBron saying to Luka, look, man, do your thing. I'm a basketball genius. I'll figure out how to play alongside it. That's what that looked like to me on Saturday night.
100%. And Greeny, I sat next to you. I sat next to BC while you were out, and I was one of them folks that questioned the defense. I think Saturday was a great start, and we already knew that LeBron has the basketball IQ. LeBron and Luka, they have the basketball IQ to make beautiful plays together. I was not worried about them offensively at all. I'm with Legs in that, is this defense sustainable, right? When you look at their 8-game sample size since the trade, their defense is ranked 3rd in the NBA. It's a very small sample size, and Luka wasn't on the floor in all of those games, and you might do a little bit of this at some of the competition, but I'm really curious to see if that's sustainable.
I like the point about the Luka LeBron thing, too, who's on the ball off. Luka has to be on the ball. Now, here's why. That other guy has to be willing to cut or run. Luka doesn't cut or run.
Right.
If you're not doing, it's just the truth.
It's true.
If you're not doing those two things, then the offense is going to bog down. It's going to be stagnant, and you're going to end up with a lot of traffic on the primary ball handler. The threat of LeBron cutting, it's not like LeBron sitting there weak side slashing on but the fact that he can, and he will make that read, means you have to be like this on the weak side. That enables the ball handler to go operate and running the floor, as we've shown you with the throw-ahead passes. Like, Luka doesn't do those things, so it just makes more sense. Put the ball in his hands. He's going to dissect you. And that other guy, LeBron, he is willing to do some of those other things to find ways to score that Luka probably wouldn't do.
Circling it all the way back to the beginning of the conversation, if there are 5 people in the world that I trust to figure this out in the playoffs, J.J. Redick is one of them, right? Well, I mean, LeBron James is clearly one of them, but I meant from a coaching standpoint, like he's doing, it is going so much better than I think we sort of saw it going. Began with championship hopes, has turned into a disaster. The latest blight coming against the Nets on Saturday. Philly losing their 7th straight. And the real story is Joel Embiid. He was benched in the 4th quarter after scoring just 14 points in 31 minutes. And yesterday, Stephen A. Smith did not hold back on Embiid and the Sixers.
Joel Embiid, have we seen, when did he look good this year? When was he moving well this year? It has not been the case. They are done. This season is over. The city knows it. There's no brotherly love for the Sixers. Lose, sit Joel Embiid for the rest of the season like Perk was saying last year. Sit Paul George while you're at it and just be done with it and prepare for the next 3 years, because this season is a joke.
Do we agree with that, Tim Legler?
Yeah, I do, because it's not going to get better. And from Joel Embiid's own admission, it's not going to correct itself unless he gets this thing treated or surgically repaired, whatever it's going to take. You can rest him, you can sit him, and hopefully you can squeeze whatever you can out of him. And I understand that mindset a little bit because they just gave him $190 million. So I understand you're like, you want some return on that investment. Bottom line is the way this guy looks and his lack of impact, particularly defensively, he's got no movement on that end of the floor at all. He basically has become a perimeter player on the nights he's not feeling well. You can't win with that, and it's not going to resolve itself. So I do agree with Stephen A. Smith. I think you're banging your head against the wall if you continue to try to manage it the way that you are with him.
Can I just put some context to that? Sometimes we hear big numbers, $190 million. It's sort of hard to put into context. So Bobby Marks tweeted this, Monica.
Oh.
Over the next 4 years.
C11A, Cindy.
Joel Embiid.
C11A, Cindy.
Oh, is that C11A? Oh, did you have this put together?
Yes.
Okay, well, then you take it.
No.
That's what he gets paid. Each of the next 4 years, 55, 59, 64, 69.
Fully guaranteed.
$million.
That's why I disagree with Legs. Play him. Play him because he should have taken the summer off. Play him because that's what you should do. Because he wanted to play in the summer in the Olympics when he had one leg in the playoffs. So now you're going to let him escape, take the parachute, and get out of a season like this? Oh, no. No. You were well enough to play in the summer. You didn't need surgery then. Play him.
But you're talking about, it sounds like you want to punish him.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, why does everybody else have to take all the L's? No, you got to be out here too.
But at the end, listen, I'm not saying the guy's ever going to have a sustained, healthy run. He hasn't. So I don't know that he's ever going to do that. But at least you would have somewhat of an opportunity if you shut it down and give him the rest of it till next fall. And then say, hey, at least we have these next 3 years. We're paying him all the money you just put on that screen.
I don't know.
And maybe Joel Embiid can return to what he was.
Can I put context to this as well? I'm going to go to Twitter. Spooky Gang is his name. And I saw this, and it really resonated with me. And he said the Mavs gave up on Luka before the Sixers gave up on Embiid. Think about that for a minute. Say no more.
Monica.
That tweet is crazy. Just in terms of it resonating, it's accurate, but in terms of resonating,
Embiid, this is the very, very, very end of the process. Candidly, the process has been over for years, but this is sort of where they are in Philadelphia now. They may have the 2 worst contracts in the entire NBA on that team at one time. Give me a quick final thought on that.
I am inclined to agree with Legs and SA because I think playing him punishes the other folks around him, i.e. Tyrese Maxey, who is a guy who has had at points to carry this organization, and it's never been intentionally built for him to do so. I'm not saying that he can be a sole centerpiece, but he is someone that you can bank on moving forward within this organization, just in terms of productivity, attitude, and oh, by the way, age, right? And so I think playing Joel Embiid to his detriment does nothing for anybody else. And there's some implications in this as far as them holding on to a pick down the stretch of the season. So
I like it. I like Han. His take is just petty. Like, you're literally just taking the petty way, and you know.